he's a little under the weather today. I just want to give a couple opening remarks. Wow, what a great convention we had, eh? Everybody learned a ton. There's a lot of powerful information at the event. Met so many people through networking, and there was a lot of knowledge that's shared through those seminars. Thank you to Jay, Lisa, and Tom for guiding us rookies. It was truly appreciative of you guys to step up and help us out. And I just want to remind everybody of the Salvation Army Food Drive this Thursday, November 30th. This is just another one of those great community events that our valley supports. So if everybody can either volunteer or make sure you fill up a food bag and put it on your step. I love the event because I know a lot about it. So anyways, our agenda. May I have a motion to adopt the agenda? Jay, seconder. Tony, are there any changes or additions? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Can I have an motion to adopt the minutes of November 17th? Lisa, seconder. Brad, any comments? Or sorry, November 14th. All in favor? Carried. Okay. Our acting CAO today, Paul, I guess you're up now on regarding utility rates.
Okay, so thank you, Your Worship. The package that you have in front of you this afternoon identifies just a starting point for the conversation on the utility rate bylaw. There's no intention to discuss this in great detail today. Rather, the point is to initiate the process. Next Monday, which will be Monday, December the 4th, we'll have our consultant, Bob Jenkins, come here and provide a detailed presentation, be able to answer any questions about how the formulas could be put together and where the rates could or should go for that matter. Really, that's all that's before you this afternoon.
Okay, so just to clarify, we will have a meeting next week. So can I have a motion for the first reading? Jay?
Thank you, Your Worship. I move first reading of bylaw 14.17.
Seconder? Lisa? Any discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, you're up again.
Okay, so next item for discussion is the amendments that were discussed at last week's Committee of the Whole meeting regarding the remuneration and expense task force and the formation of that group. There's one change that's being identified to the policy 0C0412 by changing the period of appointment for the remuneration review committee from 90 days to 1 year as identified in section 2.
Thank you, Paul. Can I have a motion? Tony?
I'll make the motion that Council amend section 2 of Council Policy C0414, known as the remuneration and expense allowance for Mayor and Council, by changing the appointment of the committee and the committee's report shall be completed within 1 year following the general municipal election.
Seconder, Christine? Comments? Jay?
Thank you, Your Worship. Forgive me for the curveball, guys. I did mention to the mayor, and I'm curious to put out for your consideration. It's been some time now that council has had the ability to claim its per diems, 5 that are per year that council is eligible for AUMA attendance and FCM and that sort of thing. As you're well aware, we already had an orientation meeting. That's one. We've just been to AUMA, and we're about to have another strategic planning session. And so I wondered if we could consider that it's entirely possible to use 4 of your 5 per diems before December on an election year. And so I wanted to know if there was any political will to increase the number of council per diems that are eligible for in what we would refer to as an orientation year from 5 to 7. Just an idea. But since we're amending the policy, I thought it'd be the time to throw it out there.
Anybody else? Fred?
I wonder if we could put that forward to the committee that we're striking to look at this matter out of our hands and arm's length, and just put to them that fact, and then let them do the consideration.
Lisa?
I was just going to say that I see no issue with this being on an election year, considering the amount of time that's going to be required for especially non-incumbent members to come up to speed, and the amount of time that it may take away from their regular day job to make sure that they're effective representatives of this community. On the other hand, I like Fred's suggestion about that hand or arm's length committee doing a review, and I would support that as well.
Anybody else? Yeah, I'm kind of torn too. I've watched you guys, and the amount of time that we have put in this first 3 weeks has been pretty incredible. And and I commend you all for the effort that you have put forward to get up to speed. So yeah, I like Jay's idea in the sense that the amount of hours Jay or Fred, I know all of you have spent away from work. And I mean, fortunately for me, this is my job, but I'm kind of leaning towards what Jay's saying, because I think it's for us to do a great job, we have to get up to speed, and we have to get up to speed fast. And I commend you all for doing that. So, Jay?
Thank you, Your Worship. I think maybe I don't have any issue with Councillor Makwecki's suggestion that we add this as a particular element we would prefer. I wanted, because again, regardless of the recommendations from the Remuneration Task Force, Council can choose to do what it sees fit. And since it will all happen within this year, if we were to feel as though there's nothing in our policy that prevents someone from going back. Let's say, as an example, the task force were to meet in June and give us their report in July. If that was a motion that came forward, a recommendation that came forward, and we adopted it, I don't think there's anything in the policy that would be preventing someone from going back and saying, you know what, I'm going to claim one from back when we did strategic planning. There's nothing there that precludes that. So that, as a result, it's fine. I can live with not amending the policy and giving that to the task force as one particular piece we would like them to review.
Fred?
And I'll also bring to mind the wording in here. It says the committee shall be completed within a year. I would suggest that we amend that, and it should be completed in a year, so that it doesn't happen. That leaves it open to happen in 6 months, which I think our purpose of setting this was to put distance between the time we're elected and the time a totally independent arm's length group looks at it for us. So I would make the amendment that the word within be removed, and that it's a friendly amendment that the committee report shall be completed in 1 year following that.
Yeah, I agree with that one too. Anybody else? Yeah, that's definitely, that will clarify it. Now, as far as, so we'll also add the other part to be reviewed at that same time. Okay. So therefore, we will accept the motion as read. So all in favor? Oh, sorry, with the amendment. Okay. With that one amendment. Okay. Linda's already on it. I knew it. So, okay, now all in favor. Carried. All right, we're going back to you, Paul, for the appointment, 8.1.3, appointment of the Heritage Arts and Culture Committee.
the next series of items on the agenda identify appointments to various committees of the town. So with that in mind, there are a number of recommendations that are made. There's some variation in terms of how those might be selected. In the case of Heritage Arts and Culture, there is a recommendation for one individual to be appointed to that body. That would be Dennis Harder. And that would also leave one position vacant on that committee at this time.
Okay, can I have a motion on 8.1.3? Lisa?
Make a motion that council approve the appointment of Dennis Harder to the Heritage Arts and Culture Committee.
Seconder? Fred? Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, Paul, you are on 8.1.4.
Our next item for discussion is the appointment to the Drumheller Public Library Board. Again, there are 2 vacancies and one name who's been brought forward by the name of Sheila Kruger.
Motion on 8.1.4. Tony?
I'll make a motion that council accept the recommendation of the Public Library Board, approve the appointment of Sheila Kruger for a 3-year term to the Drumheller Public Library Board, expiring on the date of council's 2020 annual organizational meeting.
Seconder. Christine. Comments? All in favor? Carried. 8.1.5. Paul?
Our next item is in reference to appointments to the Drumheller Policing Committee. In this case, we've received more applicants than are positions available for members at large this time. So I'll leave it to council to review those. There is a recommendation that's attached.
Lisa?
Can I make a motion that we go in camera in regards to this decision?
I second that motion, please.
All in favor? Carried. We'll go into camera on this discussion.